Hello and welcome to the Grounds Crew. My name is Alex.
Alex Sr.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the Grounds Crew brought to you by no one. Haven't done this in a while. We want to start off
Very responsive.
by giving you a standings update. So
Right.
the AL East, the Toronto
Could be the
Blue
Rock.
Jays are leading the division 53-38, with the Yankees behind them at 49-41. Tampa Bay is at 49-42, and Boston is at 47-45. Paul, how are your Orioles doing?
40-49.
40-49.
Could be worse.
It could be the Rockies. In the AL Central, we have Detroit leading the division at 58-34. Kansas City at 44-48. Minnesota at 43-47. Cleveland at 40-48. And the White Sox at 30-61. In the AL West, we have Houston leading the division at 55-35. The Seattle Mariners at 48-42. The Texas Rangers at 44-46.
Right.
The Angels at 43-46. And the Athletics at 37-55. Those are your American League standings.
Which one would you have the most question mark about?
Let's see. All right, we got a question here. Will all current division leaders make the playoffs? Not necessarily win their division, but make the playoffs.
I think so.
I think all of them make it.
I do too. The American League, I'd say Toronto.
Ready? Yeah, I think we're...
Toronto.
And then we'll
Toronto's been giving everyone problems lately. And it shows in the standings. I'm very surprised to see where they are, but maybe they do win the division.
Alrighty. So the National League standings, the NL East, the Phillies are 53-37, followed by the Mets at 52-39.
Before you go on to that,
Oh, what?
we have some interesting things here to talk about here.
We're getting to that later. The Miami Marlins are 40-48. The Atlanta Braves are 39-50. And the Washington Nationals are 37-53. The NL Central, the Cubs are leading the division at 54-36. Milwaukee is at 50-40. St. Louis is at 48-43. Cincinnati is at 46-44. And Pittsburgh is at 38-54. The NL West, the Dodgers are leading the division at 56-35. The Padres are behind them at 48-41. The Giants are behind them. Well, I guess tied with them technically, 49-42. The Diamondbacks are 44-46, and the Rockies are 21-27.
Again, I would say that both the East and the Central could be jumped around a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, particularly the two teams of the East. I mean, they're only 1.5 games out from each other.
Right.
And then the Central, I mean, you're just a week away. The way I look at this is, a week's worth of games, 7 days. If you're 7 games out, you have a chance of jumping around throughout a week. And so when you're only 8 games out like Cincinnati, you've got a good chance of making a jump around throughout the week. And so to me, that Central Division is one hot division. And the NL East is just 4 teams that are just fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
And typically the second half, you start fighting each other a little bit. So you just expect that to happen.
Out of all the division leaders in the National League, if I were to pick one to not make the playoffs, I would say it's the Cubs.
Really? Interesting. I'm not going to put them not at the playoff, but I don't know that they're going to be the divisional leaders.
Well, I think they'll be in the playoffs, but I'm saying out of the division leaders currently, if I had to pick one that's not going to make it, it's going to be the Cubs.
Why do you say Cubs?
I like Philly, and I like Philly's pitching and lineup a lot better than Chicago's. I think Chicago got hot, and we're going to see them cool off.
The only reason I like the Cubs at the top is because they definitely know how to score. They have the most points by far of any other team.
And I think we're going to start to see other teams get more runs than them. I think they're going to hit a cold stretch and not recover.
Well, yeah. Besides that, as it gets warmer and stays warmer, usually that becomes a pitcher game, and so yeah, the bats can start to cool off a little bit.
Yeah.
Their pitching has certainly cooled off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's go back to the AL for a second. Or I guess this could be both American League and National League. Who would you say has the strongest division as a whole?
Well, I'll go AL first. To me, the biggest fight's going to be in the East,
Yeah.
and I mean, to me, um, Baltimore's still only 12 games out, but the rest of that is only 6.5 games, Boston up, and I think there's a lot of potential there to have a great run to the finish between those two teams. I really do. Detroit's pretty well sealed their fate with the Central Division. I don't know that anything's going to happen. And
private parts.
in the National League, definitely the Central. I would have said at the beginning of the year the West was going to be good, but something has happened with the Padres and the Giants. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know what, but something has happened.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The beginning of the year, I would have said the West, but Arizona is not even above 500 right now.
I know. I don't get them. I'm not sure what's going on with them.
I think
Pitching.
right now the strongest divisions are the AL East and the NL Central, and I would not have said that earlier.
No, I agree. And yet the funny thing is, I'm not sure that I trust any of the NL Central to get to the World Series.
Is it bad? Out of the NL Central, I like Cincinnati most in the playoffs, and they're fourth.
Really?
Not making the playoffs, but if they were to make the playoffs, I feel like they would do the best out of the 14
Why is
teams. They have pitching. Once Hunter Green comes back, I think he should be back soon if he's not already. I really like Ellie De La Cruz, and they have Terry Francona.
Yes. Franco.
I think Terry makes a big point of it, but my only fear there would be they're such a young team. And as you get into the playoffs, sometimes that can really hurt you. But that's the only thing I have negative about them. Outside of that, I agree with you. Out of those 4 teams, they've got the best potential of being an upsetter.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. So I was looking to find. I'm looking at the standings still, and because I want to declare a worst division. I think it's pretty clear. Excuse me. I think it's pretty clear what the worst division is, because there's only one team above 500, and that's the AL Central.
Right.
Detroit is running away with it,
and that's not just because It's not just because Detroit's destroying them, because other teams have played them and destroyed them too. That's what's so sad about it.
They have a good record of against teams over 500, 23-17. Detroit's the only thing that's going to come out of the AL Central for playoff time.
Yeah, I think right now Detroit would win a World Series no matter who they play.
Really?
I really do.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I really do. I
don't have an argument against it. I just don't like it.
I get that. I do get that. But I just feel like they got the full package. I mean, they know how to play home. They know how to play away. They know how to play teams under 500. They know how to do everything. And it's like, wow. I just feel that way. I feel like right now, if the World Series was to happen tomorrow and it was Detroit against the Cubs, Phillies, or LA, I think they could beat all 3 of them. I really do.
I don't have an argument against it. I just say no. I don't have an argument against it. It's just I don't.
Not to skip ahead here, but everybody has to say the Dodgers are very much worse than we expected.
Yeah,
and so they're
loaded.
They're definitely beatable. I don't think I'm worried about them.
Since
Phillies,
they're so far off from expectations, I don't see them as a World Series team this year.
right? That's the way I feel. Exactly.
I think the NL pennant race is wide open.
I am thrilled that Otani is back pitching. I am thrilled that Kershaw got his 3,000. All of
Yeah.
that stuff thrills me about the LA Dodgers. I am so glad for them. But I don't know that this is their year. I just don't know it is.
Just lost Max Muncy for almost the rest of it.
I know.
Extremely
Exactly.
after getting
Super.
corrective lenses.
And I got glasses, and all of a sudden, boom, takes off the rocket.
Yeah. And he that. But what I liked about that team, no matter who was seeded or who was doing bad, the rest of the team made up the gap. I mean, I have Freeman on my fantasy team, and he has had some really low lows, and yet they still scored. And
we'll get to this later, but I do not think Freddie Freeman should have been an All-Star.
Oh, I'm not going to deny that. Yeah, I'm not going to deny that at all. And I have him on my fantasy team.
Two first basemen that have better numbers this year in the National League.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that one. I agree.
It's trying to come back on us. Try to fix it.
All right, let's go on.
Uno momento. Technical difficulties. Oh, it's not letting me echo cancel while we're recording.
This segment brought to you Best Buy. Best Buy. Insure all your products.
So let me just go through and tell some surprise teams, both good and bad.
Well, before we get to that, I do want to ask you, because I don't think we're going to be able to hear Ken, unfortunately. I can't get it to work. Before we get to that, who do you think has the stronger division, AL or NL? Or I guess stronger league as a whole?
NL.
Why?
Because they have more teams over 500. Is my biggest reason. My
biggest reason is the AL Central, having one team over 500.
That too. Yeah.
Alrighty. I do want to highlight a couple of key games this week. Paul, did you have any to highlight?
No, I don't. I did not. My brother and I looked over the schedule, but I really don't remember what they were.
All right. Well, I got two in my notes. I have tomorrow, or I guess today when this comes out, because we should be releasing this on Tuesday. We have Dodgers and Brewers, both teams over 50 wins, and it's Kershaw and Mizorowski on the mound.
Wow.
Mizorowski had a pretty rough showing his last time out against a quality team. He did good against his first three starts were great. Mm-hmm. They were all okay teams, nothing great. Teams he could that can be beat. Then the first challenge he faced, not so great. So I don't know about this start for him.
I have it as the guy
Kershaw, though.
Yeah, I have it as the guy who just got his 3,000 strikeout. The older veteran versus the new young blood, in Mizorowski. Yeah. And then on Friday, we have Rays going into Fenway to face the Red Sox. That matchup's going to be Drew Rasmussen versus Garrett Crochet. I'm really excited about that one. I'm going to be there. I'm excited about that.
Your podcast right on the game, Bird?
No, it's going to be too loud.
Now, is Rasmussen going to be on, restriction like he was for this past game?
He better not be, because that screwed my number.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, well, we don't want him to pitch too many innings before the All-Star break. Well, let's just let him pitch 2 innings. What was that?
That's the thing that worries me about fantasy this coming week is who are they going to sit and who are they going to reduce play time and all that kind of stuff. There's just nothing you can do about it. You just got to live with it.
By the way, I want to make mention. I guess I'll wait until the interesting bizarre segment.
Interesting bizarre segment.
Do we have a segment like that?
We can make one.
How about let's I know this is good. This isn't going to go over well. But 4th of July, prayers go out to those affected families. Horrible. Children
That was horrible.
Guess who homered that day?
Oh, no.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
Oh, my God.
Nick Castellanos homered that day.
You can't even bet that this guy is going to hit a homer because something bad is going to happen. So you're betting on something bad happening.
Home run hitter of all time. It's pathetic.
Wow. The betting odds in Vegas when the Pope died were so high, like millions of dollars were lost that day because he didn't hit a home run. So
they do.
So they wound up creating an artificial sense of things going on, and I think he heard about it and he was trying too hard and whatnot. But
he hit one to the warning track that day.
It just has to
I
happen.
lost $10.
Yeah, it just has to happen naturally. You can't say,
that's
not too bad today. Let's see. Today? I was very surprised yesterday. I'm like, did he hit a home run on the 4th of July? He did.
Wow.
Alrighty. So thanks for that.
Before we get canceled.
Yeah, before we get canceled, really. I want to go over some teams that are doing hot and teams that are doing cold, that are freezing up a little bit. Well, let's start off with the warm teams. The Blue Jays took the lead in the division. Their last 10 games, they are 9-1 with a 9-game win streak.
9-game win streak, Blue Jays.
The Boston Red Sox.
Dr. Green will help you listen.
Dr. Grant, yeah. Your Blue Jays.
Blue Jays, everybody.
They need to start losing.
Why are they doing this good? What happened all of a sudden?
Springer got hot. That's part of it. I think their pitching's doing well.
I agree with Springer. Springer just got on fire. I mean, the guy blowing up. So I do agree with that. Now, what about your with Boston?
Boston in their last 10, they are 7-3 with a 4-game win streak.
And what caused that, you think?
Honestly, crochet, but I think the main thing is the team's starting to find an identity after
gelling.
Yeah, they're gelling now that they have a clubhouse nuisance not there anymore.
I fully agree.
They're expected to get both Masataka Yoshida and Alex Bregman back this week.
Oh, good.
Who else is hot? Detroit is 7-3 with a win streak of 4, like Boston. Houston is on a tear, 8-2 in their last 10 with W3. Seattle behind them in the standings, 7-3 in their last 10 with a W3. Who else is hot? The Marlins are hot.
Who thought that? Didn't see that coming. They got guys in the All-Star game.
They are 7-3 in their last 10.
That team right there has been a spoiler team in the last 2 weeks. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, they are getting a better record. It's kind of crazy. Who else is hot? Chicago Cubs, not the White Sox. They are 7-3 in their last 10. And I believe that's it for the who's hot. Then how about who's not? We'll say who's hot and who's not. The New York Yankees are 3-7 in their last 10. Same with the Tampa Bay Rays. Who else? What happened to the Guardians? I almost said Indians. Guardians. They are 0-10 on a 10-game losing streak.
I really want to know what happened. I'm serious. That's horrible. They have just totally tanked out. I would have put them near the top of that division. I mean, they had a good chance of being second in that division easily. And all of a sudden, they just tanked out. And I don't think there was injuries. I don't think there was anything serious that happened.
I don't think so either.
And so I don't know what happened with Cleveland. They just fell off the map. I mean, they just literally they need a big turnaround. A big turnaround.
Yeah, that's not the only team either.
I know.
The Atlanta Braves, who I had possibly winning the division, or at least contending to win the division. They are 2 of 8 in their last 10 on a 4-game losing streak.
This is another team that they have.
Can you guys hear me now?
They have 2 or 3 players that are really, really good. Olsen is so good. Sale is a fantastic pitcher. They've got several that are just really good, and yet they cannot get it together. They just
really have.
They're terrible to watch. I mean, their defense doesn't look good. Their bats just don't stay together, and I wouldn't be shocked if they end up last in the division. To be frank, I don't want to say that, but I'm afraid they're going to the way they're going.
They're close to that. They're not far apart in the standings. They only have 2 more wins than the Nationals, who are at the bottom of the division. So it's getting close to that conversation.
Yeah, that's scary.
And the last 2 teams on this list are both in the NL West. The Diamondbacks and the Rockies are both 3-7 in their last 10.
I'll tell you a team that's been good in the last 10, but still has shocked me for how bad they're doing is Pittsburgh. I did not expect them to be that bad.
They just cannot score a run. They just can't.
They can't get run support, but they are currently 6-4 in their last 10. But
they have a pretty good pitching staff.
Their pitching staff is pretty good. They have no run support though.
So the obvious is Skeens.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's talk.
Keller's not bad either.
Yeah, who's that? Keller?
Yeah, Mitch Keller's not bad.
They also got this other guy. He's been doing pretty good for them too. What am I?
Yeah, they do have a third pitcher because I've picked him up a few times. I don't remember.
Keller. They have Skeens. Oh, this is gonna bother me. Who's the third guy?
They have one more guy but I know this might not be the proper place to put this in here, but I can't see Skeens staying there. Why would you? I mean, there's no run support whatsoever.
No, there's 0 run support.
I mean, it's pretty bad when he can keep them to 2 runs and they can't even help him out.
Are you guys talking about Falter?
Falter's been okay. He's been on and off, but they got some problem.
Mitch Keller.
No.
Burrows.
Team anymore? Yeah, Burrows.
Burrows. Yep, I picked him up too a couple times. Yep. So you've got 4 pitchers that are decent. That's not bad. I mean,
they can't. They can't. Defense is atrocious.
I know. Yeah. O'Neal Cruz. It looks like he's always diving for a football. It's like, what are you doing?
Well, to be fair, this is a new position for him. He was a shortstop. They moved him to center field this spring training.
But he's constantly on the ground. I mean, it's like, what are you doing, dude? Stop!
I hate when
it's like, dude, you just missed it by 2 feet. It's like you weren't even close. So, I have really struggled. I just will admit, I have really struggled this year watching some defensive plays. It's been horrendous. Some of the throwing errors are just out of this world. It's like, what is going on? I mean, the throws to home plate, they're hitting the backstop. I mean, or they bounce it in front of the pitcher's mound before it goes to the catcher. It's like, where are these throws coming from? I mean, is this a girls' league or what?
Whoa!
I just don't get it. I really don't. And then some of the inaccurate throws in the infield are just pathetic. And not knowing where to put the ball.
And you get these about the throws to the infield after the inning's over, and
isn't that
your star player right in the face?
Yeah. I mean, and the running errors are out of this world. I mean, some of the runners have not even known how many points there were on the board. They didn't know how many outs there were. It's like, what is going on?
I will say this. I watched a lot of baseball yesterday. I watched baseball all day. I tuned into a game I did not think I was going to tune into. I tuned into White Sox Rockies because I had Chase Dolander on the mound for me. And there was an odd play in the game, ball hit off the second base bag.
Oh, yeah.
And then Dolander just couldn't recover from that. He gave up a run, and then he couldn't recover. But he got a fly ball to right field. The guy did not hustle for it. He's like, oh, let me take my time getting older. He could have easily gotten that if he showed a little hustle.
That is something that I have observed about those two Cellar teams that just really upsets me. It's like, guys, you're the worst teams in baseball. Chicago and the Rockies. And it's like, where's the motivation to even get better? I mean,
if you made major leagues, you know how to play defensive baseball.
You would hope.
Ball, field the ball. You know about rules. How is this happening in Major League Baseball that you watch these games?
Well, and how long do you keep a manager or a coach that obviously is not doing something right? Something's way off. I mean, this is I feel like the old time. You remember when the Packers somebody came, I think it was Vince Lombardo, and the first thing he did when he came to the team, they were so bad, he said, this is a football. And that's what they almost need to do at some of these teams. This is a baseball. Okay? I mean, it sounds elementary, but it's like, come on, guys. I mean, give me a break.
Also, same game. Was that the same game that there was a pop-up on the infield and nobody could see where it was and it just landed on the ground?
It didn't just land on the ground. It hit off the catcher's glove.
Oh, that's right. It went off the catcher's glove, and they called it a hit. How is that a hit? How is that not an error? That should have rested right in the pocket and been an out on the infield. We had something like 37 minutes to line that one up.
And the Rockies did fire their manager earlier in the season.
Well, and I know the Nationals just fired their manager.
Yeah, they just fired their GM and their manager.
They should fire the official scorer too.
Yeah. Oh, you ain't kidding.
So do we think the Rockies beat the record for the worst record set by the White Sox last year? I say yes.
I say yes.
I think they'll do better.
But you think they'll do better?
By a couple of games.
The only reason why they could do better is because it is Rocky Stadium, and you do have a chance to at least score runs. I mean, that's one advantage you have.
But I noticed that the players that play there get used to being there, so it's not like they can hit the ball extra hard or something. The guys that come in visiting that aren't used to it, they seem to do well. But when that's your home stadium, you get used to it. You stink.
But here's the thing I look at. Okay, they are 21-70. You could double their percentage points. They're 231. You could double their percentage points, and they would still be way down in the cellar in almost every division.
Yeah,
something's wrong with that. I'm sorry. That's just there's something badly wrong. Here we are. We're coming up on the draft. You sure hope they do something right. They have 10 wins at home. Who in the world's going to go to the game? I mean, for crying out loud.
To go see the team coming in.
Still Major League Baseball.
I wish my brother was here. Him and I looked at tickets. They had single-digit amounts available for some of their games because of who wants to go. I mean, seriously. You start getting Colorado against Chicago White Sox. Who wants to be there? I mean, I just don't get it. I really don't.
I don't, but let's get to something a little more fun.
Yeah, let's do that. I agree.
Do you have any hot takes for the week?
Any hot what?
Hot takes.
Hot cakes? With syrup?
No.
You know what? I really think that I know the Yankees just came off a 3-7 record, but I really think they're going to click it back together. New York just has a way of finding their act, And there's no sense in getting all worried. Judge is a leader. Judge knows what it's like to go through slumps. He's done it himself, and I think they're going to be fine. I really do. I am thrilled that Baltimore's starting to get some of their stuff back together. Pitching step finally, I can pick up a pitcher and feel like I might get a few points on fantasy. So that's a thrill. I love, just because I live so close to it, I love that Miami just is becoming a spoiler team. That is just amazing to me.
That's fun.
I would have never guessed it. And they've got some neat little players there that are scrappy that I don't know, man.
And Miami just beat Cincinnati.
I really think this is the first I can say this since I've lived here in 7 years. They literally are just a few pieces away from being a little bit of a team. And that's a major statement. But they've been nothing.
Well,
I have to interject. I know what he's going to say too.
you go. You say it.
We lived in Florida for about 15 years.
Yeah.
14, 15 years. They had players. They had a team. On paper, that was good. It never amounted to anything. I tell you right now, the Miami Marlins do not care about winning.
Do they sell them? Do they just get rid of them?
They changed ownership, and it hasn't changed at all. They had a lineup that consisted of JT Realmuto, Christian Yelich, Marcelo Zuna, Giancarlo Stanton, and of course Jose Fernandez, who passed away. But they had a team.
They had a pretty good core there that they were building. Toxic environment. It's something wrong down there, but I mean, you know, it's a toxic environment when they're grooming their pitching staff and building around this with like a 5 to 10 year plan, saying this is our key piece, and they don't know that he's out there doing cocaine on the weekends and partying it up and acting like a maniac, driving a. I don't want to get into too many of the details because I really love the guy, but he was and dragging other people into this with him. And
yeah, he was asking people to go with him when the night of the boating accident.
They had Gordon.
They had D. Gordon
when he was playing really well.
One of the best defensive shortstops I've seen in person, Adeiny Echeverria.
Something I heard that was very disturbing about the team in management that makes no sense to me. The manager, and he's done it several times already, he pulls the pitcher at a pitch count. It makes no difference how the game's going. It makes no difference what part of the game it's in. It's an automatic pitch count, and when it's there, they're pulled.
We learned you don't do that from the 2020 World Series when Kevin Cash pulled Blake Snell.
Well, not only that,
I was watching the game, and he
Go
was
ahead.
pitching phenomenal, but they don't want their starters going into the 7th inning, so he pulled them, and then they ended up losing the series. Blake Snell left, and you don't do that. I don't like that.
I don't remember which one of the shows it was during the day, but I was watching one of the MLB shows, and they said, since when do we manage with paper instead of with our eyes and just see what's going on? And they were particularly talking about a game that a guy had just struck out several in a row and was doing great in his second or third time through the lineup, but his pitch count was there, and it was like pitch count. It's under 90. It's like 80 some or something, and they just pull him. And
That
it
might be the game I'm talking about.
It made absolutely no sense, and I mean they were all over it. They were like, "Is this guy just sitting there in the dugout, not even watching the game, and just comes out? I just the pitch count is 85. You're gone. How's this possible that you could pull the guy in the midst of a wonderful, wonderful game?
I'm all for analytics, but you have to understand when to keep a guy in and when to pull a guy, not looking at paper.
Right. And see, the only reason why I pay attention to the other side is because I'm with fantasy. I don't understand when they let a
Yes,
pitcher just bottom out.
you're right. I know where you're going.
I mean, like Warren with New York Yankees, they tanked that guy. I mean, they just absolutely tanked him. And then I mean, I had Luzardo with Philly 2 starts in a row, negative 20 something. And it's like, what are you doing to the guy? I mean, gracious day.
Runs in a game, like you gotta stop the bleeding. Just stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I don't.
handed the loss to your own team. Let's just keep them out there. Let them give up 9 runs.
Yeah.
Well, we're short on pitching. Well, why just forfeit the game then? Why even play the rest of the game? Because that's basically what you just done. You know?
I I wonder at times if managers think that pitchers don't care about their ERA or don't care about any of their stats, because it's like, how can you keep a guy out there for even 3 innings and the guy gets brutalized? I mean, he's in double digits.
I
It's
think
like,
part of it is whether or not their bullpen is depleted. Because if you have like a couple games in a row where you have to dig heavily into your bullpen, your starter has to eat a little bit. I mean, but that's the only exception to
Yeah.
let a guy stay out there like that.
With
Well-
Blake though, he had just done this, and then his next start, it's happening again.
yeah,
You've got to have some kind of preparation in mind.
right.
This could
Right.
possibly happen again, and be ready for it. But I see the preparation.
Complete disaster.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I will admit managing has to be extremely difficult. I can't imagine what it's like to know that you've used practically every relief pitcher and one of your stars, like Luzardo, goes out there and just bombs it. That would be horrifying. I mean, it's like, what are you supposed to do? You
Thing
know?
is, it's not the case with the Phillies. They have a great pitching staff, so I highly doubt that their bullpen was depleted
I know.
twice in a row for Luzardo.
No.
I see, and it's not only them. That's not the only one we see.
Yeah.
Managers are letting these pitchers pitch and get hammered for 8, 9, 11 runs before they pull them. Like, you've destroyed them. Like, it's going to take them all season to come back from that, if they're even able to.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And why do you want to do that to the psyche of your pitcher anyway? You know, I think you're better off pulling them in the second inning and saying, all right, this ain't happening today. You know, take a seat, let's regroup, rather than let you stay out there another inning and a half, give up 12 runs, and now you've still been pulled early, and you have this enormous amount of runs you give up. Might as well have pulled them a little bit earlier.
Somebody just the other
Wait,
day.
give you a chance to come back. No one's
It was
coming
one
back
of your
12 to
pitchers,
1. It's not happening.
Al Jr. It was one of your pitchers that ended up pitching 6 innings, and you got all the points for it. Tell us about that
Which one?
Oh, that was interesting.
in your fantasy the other day. You ended up with like 20 points or something from a reliever.
Okay, let me make sure I get his name right. His name is Justin Robleski. So the deal with Robleski is he has had an opener for him. So a reliever or Otani, I know when he's been making, I guess, his rehab starts because he can't go down to the minor leagues to do it because he's still hitting.
Right.
So either a reliever or an Otani rehab start happens. So a reliever or him, they'll eat about 1 or 2 innings. And then Robleski will come in and act as the starter afterwards.
And apparently he does better this way than just coming in as a traditional starter, starting inning 1. So the team said, you know what? We've tried it the other way and it doesn't go well. Let's do it. Let's keep it going. We have something that works, and it actually works for us now because we got Otani rehabbing that can't go down. I mean, it just, the pieces fell in place, and we saw this note. Alex saw the note too, that this guy they were doing this, and he wasn't listed as a starter because he wasn't a traditional starter, but he was going to probably pitch 6 innings like a normal starter would after the opener. And that's a great way to get points in fantasy. But
Yeah.
that's a very rare occurrence, a very rare thing.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Oh, he only got like 4 points for me the other day, but
Yeah. Same
You ended
scenario.
same scenario. Yeah.
Didn't you?
Huh?
You ended up with a pretty deep double digit that one time.
Yeah.
22, was it?
Something like that. Yeah.
22 points. But the next
Really
time they
cool.
tried it, he only got 4 points the next time. They
2.
tried it, so
So
2 points.
the first time I had him, I got 22, and the second time it was 2.
Wow.
Yeah. So what was your hot take, by the way? I think we got on a little diversion. What's your hot take for the week?
Well, I really want to see Miami continue to just put that knuckleball in there and mess up people's weeks. I think that's awesome. I would love to see Cincinnati continue to come up the scale. I don't know
The
who all
problem with that is they're facing each other, and Miami won tonight.
Oh, seriously? That's who's facing each other? I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's probably. I'm not really worried about the Western Division. They'll figure it out. One of those San Diego or San Francisco will bounce back up to the top eventually. I don't know which one because they both have the potential to do it. It's just a matter of which one does it. I don't know about Arizona. I'm not sure what's going to happen to them, but I'm a little disappointed in them, to be honest. But yeah, I would say that's my up for the week.
I'm going to say this about Arizona. Something's a little bit off because
This is your hot take?
no.
Oh.
He mentions Arizona. We don't know where they're going. They have the number one shortstop in baseball. He moved up to the front of the line, hitting first or second because Ketel Marte was hurt. And he was doing incredible. He's propelled himself to the number one shortstop in baseball.
Fantasy point wise.
Right.
Which translates.
Agree to disagree.
Okay. So Ketel Marte comes back. They say, you know what? We're going to move you down to the 9th position. 9th? What? You take a guy that's hitting so well offensively, and you're hitting him 9th, and they keep doing that to him. They keep bouncing him back and forth. And that's just one thing I've observed with the way that they're managing their team. Like, this makes no sense. I know they've had injuries. Corbin Carroll was hurt a little bit, but he's bounced back. He's doing okay. But they got some good pieces.
Ketel Marte was just scratched from the lineup tonight.
They got a week, half a week off coming. Whatever. Anyway, I don't know if I just find that really odd that they can bounce around like that. But continue, Paul. You got another thing.
No, I'm fine. I'm done for my hot take.
You have a hot take?
I do have a hot take.
What's your hot take?
We talked in our early season predictions about, and this was a huge big deal because of our fantasy league, the trade that was the big trade, Aaron Judge for Juan Soto. And I made a prediction about Juan Soto climbing up the ladder there to being one of the top hitters in baseball this year. It's going to happen before long. He's at number 5 now. He's in the top 5.
Fantasy-wise.
Fantasy-wise, which translates.
Again, agree to disagree. But
he's hitting very well now. So
yeah, Juan Soto did a complete 360. He has definitely turned it around. Just short of being an all-star, I think. I would have had him over Tucker personally, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
My hot take is at the end of the week, the Mets will lead their division. Phillies are currently in the lead, and I think the Mets have a better schedule. So I think the Mets will take the lead in the NL East.
I'm still shocked Toronto's leading the AL East.
Oh,
Nobody predicted Toronto to even be first or second.
I think we had a consensus that they were going to finish 5th.
Yeah.
And I said Baltimore was going to win the division, and now they're 4th.
Yeah. 9-game winning streak for Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going back and see who's even the closest to getting the division right, because I don't think
None of us.
We might as well delete that episode.
We all sucked.
delete that episode. Yeah.
Alrighty. So
Or make a new episode with the preseason predictions now. Pretend that I did it back then.
This All-Stars, because, man, this is...
Well, before we get into that, I did want to mention a few players that has surprised me at least.
Oh, yeah.
But Paul, did you have one that you wanted to talk about?
I would say the biggest surprise player for me has been Kyle Riley.
He was first on my list too. Yep.
I mean, first of all, he's a catcher, and the guy's just breaking records left and right. I mean, it's like, what is going on with this guy?
In a stadium that's supposedly the hardest to hit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I am deeply impressed. And he's just keeping it up. It's not like it just happened 1 week or something.
Mm-hmm.
He just keeps it up and keeps it up and keeps it up.
He's awesome. All year.
That, and of course, just because I have him, but it is just amazing to watch Scooble pitch from week to week. Like,
wow.
Scooble.
That's not a surprise, though. He won the Triple Crown last year. Get out of here.
He's incredible. He really is. He's just an incredible player. But I would say outside of that, you know what? Another team for how bad they're doing that has an occasionally really neat game is the Athletic. Every now and then they have a really neat game, and it's like, wow, where'd that come from? You know? And they're another one that they're just a scrappy little team that's trying their best. They're not doing good at home at all, but when they're away, look out, buddy. They'll come out and get you.
It's hard to get motivated as a Major League Baseball player playing in a minor league stadium. I think.
Know. I have to agree. I was really excited about Atlanta's comeback for a while, and then it was like, man, yeah.
Coming back.
That 1 week looked like, oh man, they're back. They're back. Their bats are back. Their pitching's back. It's like, wow, man, they're back. And then all of a sudden,
they were back, baby back ribs.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they gone. They gone. They gone. So,
do you have a surprise player?
I do have a surprise player. Well, first of all, of course, Cal Raleigh.
Yeah,
is my biggest surprise player.
It's everyone's biggest surprise player.
Yeah, James Wood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Woo.
What a great player.
Who he just traded to me in fantasy, by the way.
Yeah.
For who?
Then why'd you do it?
I did it anyway.
For who?
He got Bobby Witt Jr. and Luis Arias.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Crying out loud.
Why don't you talk to the pro before you do this stuff?
Pro, you don't even trade. Name the last time you made a trade in the last 2 seasons that we've played fantasy.
I don't.
Name one trade that you've done.
Would you like to know what your son just offered me?
Yeah, I know what he offered.
Tucker for Witt. Have you lost your mind?
No Witt. No Witt's about him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of Bobby Witt, is what I was trying to do. And he took him.
Well, I said, Witt alone's not going to get Wood. So he threw in Arias, and he said, I could use both these guys, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm glad you said maybe.
Paul, what do you want to give him for Witt?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, my surprise player that I have to mention is Michael Busch of the Cubs, who great. I think should have been the National League first base all-star. Freddie Freeman won it. Michael Busch is batting .279 with a 950 OPS with 18 home runs and 56 RBIs.
Part of the reason the Cubs have been doing so well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Him, Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong. Yeah. I
have to agree. I don't.
There's no way this guy shouldn't be an all-star. I had a couple more jotted down just for fun. I said Jonathan Aranda of Tampa Bay. He's batting .320 with an .879 OPS, 10 home runs, 47 RBIs. I mean, the home run numbers aren't great, but he's getting extra base hits, and a lot of them. And then my final one.
He's been consistent all year.
He has. And my final one was Hunter Brown of the Houston Astros.
Rookie.
He's not a rookie. This is just like his best season so far. Okay. Leading the league in ERA with a 1.82 ERA. Hunter Brown in 104 innings, a .9 whip, and 126 strikeouts. And we're a week before the All-Star break.
So I'm going to do something a little silly right now. I want to
be silly.
Go for it.
I want to see if fantasy is far off of these guys that are making the playoff. I mean, making the All-Star.
All right, while you pull that up, let me just read the All-Star starters real quick. In the American League, the All-Star starters are Cal Raleigh, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Gleyber Torres, Jacob Wilson, Jose Ramirez, Aaron Judge, Riley Green, Javier Baez, and Ryan O'Hearn. And in the National League, it's Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Ketel Marte, Francisco Lindor, Manny Machado, Pete Crow Armstrong, Ronald Acuna Jr., Kyle Tucker, and Shohei Ohtani.
Aren't there reserves as well?
There are reserves. These are just starters. The voted starters.
Right. And that's all I'm going to look at. So, I'm looking at catchers first. This is both league. Top catcher points. I'm only going points, total points. Top catcher's Cal Riley. The second one is Will Smith. So that one makes sense. I'll go along with that one. The second one is first base. Let's see who they are.
For the All-Stars, it's Vlad Guerrero and Freddie Freeman.
Okay, Vlad makes sense. Freddie makes no sense. I mean, there are several above him in the National
I have
League.
two. Like, not looking at fantasy, even though I have it pulled up right here, I would have put two National League first basemen in front of Freddie Freeman.
Well, let me tell you who. Let me give you some. Pete Alonso, Josh Naylor, Matt Olson, Michael Bush, Luis Perez. All those guys are above him in fantasy. Yep. That is not good.
No. I had, in my opinion, just looking at their numbers, not fantasy, I had Michael Bush ahead of Pete Alonso, and then I don't know where it falls off after that. That's the only two I looked at.
Michael Bush should have been the named All-Star.
I agree.
Without a doubt.
All right.
Is it possible that this is Freddie Freeman's last year?
No. I think he's only like 34 or 35. I think Freddie's got more in him. But I think the Dodger fans kind of took the vote over on that one.
I agree. I think Dodger fans, exactly. All right, let's go to second base.
Well, Ed, I do want to say I had Jonathan Aranda over Vlad Guerrero for American League.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Aranda has a better OPS than Vlad by like 50 points.
Okay. Interesting.
I think Vlad is making a bigger impact, though. Oh, sorry. I think Vlad's making a bigger impact.
I mean, if you want to go with that WAR thing, I agree with you. All right, here comes another very debatable one. So Torres is the second baseman, and he has Garcia from Kansas City above him.
But is Garcia playing third or second mostly?
Now, that's a good question. I'm not sure there.
I'll look that up.
But he plays third and second. I happen to have him. He's a great player. Altuve, where's he been playing mostly?
Second.
Left field.
Oh, left field.
I wondered if he's been in the left field. Okay. So, all right. So the only one that would possibly be above him is Garcia then.
I'm looking at what he's been fielding right now. It's loading. Give me 1 second. Stats. Fielding. In 2025, he has mostly been at third base.
Third base. Okay. So
He's played 11 games at second base.
Okay. So we'll talk about third in a minute. And then I
actually agreed with Gleyber. That's one I actually agreed with.
He's having
in the National League,
And he was injured.
The only one above Marte is Nico from the Cubs.
He struggled with this one and decided not to even continue to look into it because Ketel Marte missed a good amount of the season so far, but his numbers are so much better than everyone else's. Like, just for an example, he has 100 less at bats than Nico Horner, but I like his numbers better than.
Wow. Yeah, that's a huge. All right.
Well,
So next,
I want the guy to be there most of the year, but like fantasy wise, let's just talk about fantasy for a second. In fantasy, Nico Horner has 3 more points on the year than Ketel Marte, and Ketel has 100 less at bats.
yeah.
So I don't know.
So shortstop, Bobby Witt's first one on the list. And Jacob Wilson is 1, 2, 5, 6. But there's all of them in between is National League. And so Jacob Wilson, I think another thing we have to keep in fact here, you do want to choose somebody from each team.
Right, but that they can be towards replacements too and reserve
They
guys,
don't have to have somebody from each team for a starter?
not for a starter.
Oh, I thought they did.
They just have to make the team.
I knew they had to make the team, but I thought the starters had to be from every team. And then after
That doesn't make sense. There's 9 spots and 15 teams.
Well, okay, I knew that, but still. I mean, they have that first tier of replacement sort of thing. National League is Francisco Lindor. Wow, he's the 4th one on the list of the National League. Perdomo, La Cruz, and Turner are all above him. Wow.
Someone not above him in fantasy numbers is who I had for my National League shortstop, and that was C.J. Abrams. He has the best OPS among shortstops in the National.
Yeah, well, that's where that poor team. I feel sorry for that team. I really do. He's not going to stay there. Seriously doubt if he stays with the Nationals. All right, third base. Okay, Jose Ramirez is the first third baseman on here. But they have him as DH too. I wonder how much DH he's done. I think a lot.
Let me look.
Oh, wow.
I think Devers should have been selected.
Well, see, that's what's funny here. That's what I'm getting ready to say. Manny Machado is third. Devers is second. But again, I think you have to go with the DH thing.
He is Jose Ramirez is mostly a third baseman.
Okay. And see,
And
Manny
has been a DH all year until being traded.
Exactly. And Manny is mostly a third baseman. So I'm not against that.
I had Suarez above Manny in my vote.
Well, he's the next one. Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And outfield, Aaron Judge should be there, definitely.
Yes.
After that, oh my goodness, they're all National League. Where in the world is the next American League? George Springer's the next one. He's not even on the list. Wow. Bellinger's next. He's not on the list.
I don't think he's been playing. Oh, yeah, he has been playing outfield.
Altuve, he's not on the list.
Yeah, a really rough start to the year. He's only coming around lately.
Buxton's not on the list. Wow. Where in the world are these guys at?
My American League outfield would have been Judge, Springer, and Buxton.
Well, I haven't even found these guys yet. There's Green. Okay, Riley Green's right there. But he's way down the list.
He had a hot streak early in the season, but not consistent. I don't see it.
Yeah, I must be missing Baez. He's better than this.
I mean, Baez.
Oh,
Real
yeah.
career year.
I'm not seeing him. Oh, where is he not on the list? Has he been out for a while?
No.
Well, he's not even on the first page of outfield. Oh, there he is. Well, he's way down there? Yeah, he's way down. I don't know why in the world he's there. Okay, who's the other one? Look, I just lost my whole page. Hey, there it is. Oh, DH, Ryan O'Hearn. Well, I'm not going to say no to that. I mean, that's
Of course, you're a Baltimore fan. No, but he's having a good year. I didn't necessarily have a problem with that one.
Okay, National League, Kyle Tucker, and then it's Juan Soto, and then it's Armstrong. Why is Juan Soto not there?
He had a really rough start, but he's hot now.
He's super hot.
Get up for it.
James Wood's not there.
Yeah. We're about to talk about James Wood.
Suzuki's not
My National League outfield, I believe I came to the consensus that I had one of those guys that they had. Just because he's a center fielder. I feel like you need to have a main center fielder. And that's Pete Crow Armstrong. It's the only reason why he's there. If there was just 3 outfielders, I wouldn't have had him in my starting lineup. My outfield lineup would have been James Wood and Juan Soto.
Well, once again, Acuna is way down the list.
That's because he was hurt most of the year.
I know. So,
Yeah,
wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, he only just came back and somehow made
How is he an all-star? That makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
I mean,
For what, 2 weeks?
I don't get that. That's not fair to the guys that have been here all year and have really been pushing it.
Then again, that goes back to Ketel Marte. He was out for a lot of the year too, but his numbers are there for the All-Star appearance.
Hey, I just got a thing during our thing here. Manny, 2,000 career hit he got during his game.
Who did?
Manny Machado. Good for him.
They've been counting that down.
2,000 career hit. Good for him. I'm thrilled for him.
Good for him. Talk to Pedroia about that. Yeah, I
agree with all those. I think it does come down to what fans of what teams really vote a lot.
Well, the fans have spoken. That's what the fans have said, and I don't like a lot of what the fans said.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So, Paul, I believe you asked, is there someone you really wanted to see in the All-Star game that's not listed as a starter?
No, I can't really say that. I mean, when I bring all the batters up, okay, every batter, the only one that doesn't make sense is Soto. He's in the top. I'll just give you the top. So these are the top batters: Judge, Ohtani, Tucker, Riley, Soto, Armstrong, Wood, Walber. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about him. Witt.
He's a DH though, and Ohtani got him. There's nothing really to. I mean, you're not going to put him over Ohtani. So I mean, I don't. He deserves it, but he's a DH.
So no, I can't say I'm overly shocked by anybody or overly disappointed. Listen, in my personal opinion, just because I've had Soto on my team before in fantasy, obviously I think it's beginning to get known that it has to heat up outside for him to get good. But when he gets good, he stays good. There's no letdown. He just keeps foot on the throttle. And the guy definitely, I'll tell you what, I don't know that there's anybody except for Ohtani that is as respectful to a pitcher when he knows he's been had.
Yeah.
Those two guys just absolutely walk away like, you got me, man. You got me.
I remember Miguel Cabrera was like that, but
and I like that. I mean, that says a lot because these guys have great eyes and they know what they're doing, and they walk a lot and they know pitches. Judge would be another one, by the way. I mean, those 3 guys, they just respect when they get beat. It's just that plain simple. And they are beatable. I mean, that's the thing. All 3 of them are beatable. It's just a matter of pitching the right way. But yeah, and that's one thing. Oh man, I have seen some. Oh, we need to talk about that. I have seen some major tempers this year. I mean, just uncontrollable tempers. It's like, calm down, people. There's been some major fights. There's been some major issues of teams just not getting along. And We haven't seen the end of some of these fights. They're going to continue throughout the year. And I just don't like that. I don't like baseball turning down the ugly and, who are we going to hit next and how many are we going to hit in a game. That's not necessarily.
I actually think that rivalry that sparks that is good for baseball. I guess you can give that as a hot take for me too. I like that
for baseball, but especially when the managers get involved too, it's like, okay, now it's gone too far. I mean, you don't have to.
What game was it that the Dodgers had a fight? I forget what team it was, but there was everyone on both teams was right behind home plate, and you could see the managers going back and forth yelling at each other. From
Dodgers and Padres literally chest bumped each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it was insane. I watched that game live, and it was like, what is going down? I mean, Martinez comes out and just goes off. I never have understood. I do, to a point, understand why some batters get hit more because they just crowd the plate a lot. What I don't agree with this year, particularly, I've seen some of them get hit when they're doing the movement to come in. I don't consider that the same as being hit.
No.
When it's
they're in motion. That's not the same thing.
When you're doing the motion of the bat and you get hit in the hand, I know it hurts. I know it's not right. And I know maybe the pitch shouldn't be there, but you still made part of the decision to make that turn. And so, that's different than throwing the thing at the head, in my opinion. Even at the leg, it's different. I mean, that you made a lot of that decision right there. You just moved your hand some major inches to get in that position. And so I get hot at that point. I mean,
right. I think when it's in that situation and they get hot, I think they're just getting hot because they're in pain.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless those players have an issue with pitchers pitching inside, which I know some do. But
I know, yeah. But I also have a problem with batters crowding the plate. There's no need in it. I mean, not to the point that they do. It's like, come on. The other thing I've seen a lot of, and I've heard some talk about, is the different style of catching and how many catchers are getting hurt this year because of it. They're just getting hit all over their legs and everywhere else, and it's because of the style that they kneel down now, more exposure to their whole body compared to that squat that brings them in closer, and they're just getting demolished. I mean, there's leg injuries all over the place.
Yeah.
The Orioles went through three catchers like in 1 week. It was bad. I mean, we just picked up a AAA catcher from the Yankees because we're just being destroyed. I mean, and most of it's behind the plate. And I mean, if a catcher's not playing, something really happened because those guys play hurt continuously.
Yeah.
So
they're always getting
a lot of overswings hitting them in the back.
Yeah. I mean, they get hit in the head and everything. So I mean, it has to be a pretty bad injury for a catcher to sit out. So I don't know. I just feel like baseball's changed a little bit these last little bit. I don't think the game has slowed up. There's way too many waiting with the headphones, and oh yeah, let's go ahead and do that one. Yeah, let's check first base. Let's check this. I don't know. I'm not against all that digital stuff. I'm really not. I don't care if they do a digital ump. I don't the check swing. I don't care if they do a digital thing there. Check swing. I never have understood how an ump is supposed to be a check swing. I don't get it. So I hope some of that stuff changes.
All right. Well, I think that is it for today. Please comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you in the next one. And God bless.
Thanks.